Hey everyone, it's time for another Owl House review / reaction video. This time it's Hunting Palismen, it was a really good episode. Spoilers, obviously, if you haven't seen the episode, watch that first, then watch this. Let's begin. Starts off with the Coven heads. We see them for the first time. Bellis leads them down to the chamber where the door is, and he says he's going to show them a glimpse of the Day of Unity. One of the Coven heads is likely this Rain character, who we'll see more of next week. I'm putting that in quotes because I don't think there's ever been any confirmation as to this character's name, but everyone is calling them Rain, so I'll just assume it's correct. Of course, that's assuming that the Coven head that looks just like them is them. This Day of Unity, we see the Titan reawakening, and then it appears in the human realm, so this is some interesting stuff. It just reawakens and pop, there it is. Bellis has to leave the meeting because of his health issues. The Golden Guard guides him to the next room, and Bellis, he kind of liquefies for a little bit, which I guess explains how he was able to do those weird moves in the season 1 finale. It isn't fully explained why Bellis is like this just yet. I mean, we know this is why he drinks the Palismen, because they help stabilize him. But we're not sure of the cause, so I'm presenting 3 theories. Theory number 1, he's cursed, which, I mean, is like the most obvious one, which I guess just, you get cursed. Theory number 2, which I'm going to fully admit is borrowing elements from a fanfic I read. But, see, this fanfic in this fanfic, humans who live on the Boiling Isles for a significant amount of time change. Like, the natural magic there just like changes them into being witches, which is an interesting concept. He is Philip Wittebane, and maybe being there for like 400 years has just like warped his body really, really badly. Third theory, which is something that I saw popping up a lot after last episode, is that Bellis is a descendant of Philip Wittebane, so he's a hybrid of sorts. And in real life, cross-species hybrids tend not to be the healthiest, so if Bellis is part human, part witch, then that could explain this. Anyway, he absorbs the energy of a Palismen. He demands more. The Golden Guard is like, we're all out. They're getting rarer these days. The Golden Guard calls Bellis uncle, but I don't know if they're actually related because later in the episode, the Golden Guard mentions that Bellis took him in, so that could be like a figurative uncle. Bellis mentions that their family is gone because of wild magic, and you see Kikimora, she's listening in, and she plays a big role in this episode. Alright, there's a new intro, which some people were thinking might happen, but yeah, you have Ida with a new outfit, and Amity with a new hair, which, I mean, it's great hair. I'll miss the poof, but I've accepted the new hair. It's a special day at Hexside, because everyone's getting their Palismens and staffs. Apparently Amity stayed home, which, I don't like the sound of that. Like, did she choose to stay home? Or did she get in trouble for changing her hair and she's being forcibly confined to her home? Because that's what I'm thinking. Viney and Gerbo are back. That's cool. Yeah, everyone gets their staves and the Palismen. Turns out Principal Bump's demon mask is his Palismen, which it helps him see because, like, one of his eyes is, like, shut. The Bat Queen comes with like a bunch of Palismen. There's like for Palismen adopting day. Everyone gets one because they state what they want to do. Gus says he wants to be an ambassador to the human realm, and I'm just thinking, good for you, Gus. Good for you. Luz, none of them want to pair with her, and the Bat Queen's like, you don't seem convicted enough. Like, what do you want to do? And Luz is like, I want to become a witch. But Luz is second guessing herself, like, what does being a witch mean? I'm planning on going home, and you can't do magic in the human realm. Luz heads back to the Owl House, and she mentions that she can't do magic back in the human realm, and she says she's from Connecticut, which a lot of us were thinking that she's from the West Coast, but now that I think about it, it actually makes sense that it's in Connecticut, because you have this Philip Wittebane character who has a British accent, who was in the East Coast of the United States in the 1600s, the British. Philip Wittebane is one of the many, many British people who sailed to a new land and said, is for me. Connecticut could just be the default location for the portal because that's where Philip's from. There's this red cardinal Palismen which hides in Luz's bag, and she's like, aw, I have to return you to the others. Yeah, Luz wears a different outfit in this episode, because some people were thinking, oh, she'll have a new outfit because her outfit got real dirty in the last episode, but I'm thinking this outfit she wears in this episode is her pajamas, because it was like late in the day. There's that clip of Luz that's probably from Eclipse Lake, where she's wearing her normal outfit, so she doesn't have a permanent outfit change. Like, she might wear this again in future episodes, but I'm thinking these are her pajamas. She heads back to Hexside, where the Palismen nest is, and she brings the bird back, and she just kind of crawls in and just thinks about, her life and whatnot, and she starts to fall asleep, but the nest gets captured by a ship that's being piloted by the Golden Guard. She gets captured pretty easily, but while she's tied up, she draws a nice glyph on the ground and knocks his staff away. That hand dragon shows up and knocks the ship out of the sky. The Cardinal Palismen frees Luz, and she sees that the Golden Guard is just there, knocked out, and his mask is gone. Kikimora is off to the side talking to some Coven guards, and she's like, yes, the Golden Guard is dead. These are his remains. Everyone else leaves, and the dragon comes back, and she's like, good job, my pet. So my theory that Kikimora and the hand dragon were connected is true. I got that right. She instructs the dragon to find what's left of the Golden Guard and eat him. Luz helps the Golden Guard escape, and the dragon grabs the other Palismen. We see the Golden Guard's face, and I was expecting a horrific scar on the bottom of his face, but it's honestly not that bad. He attempts to get into an Emperor's Coven building, but they think he's just some teenager who's cosplaying as a Coven member. Luz won't give him his staff back, so he chases her. It turns out he can't do magic without the staff, which that is not something I was expecting. That's interesting. Luz is like, hey, Kikimora is an enemy to both of us. Let's team up to stop her. And Golden Guard is like, okay. Luz carves glyphs on this big wall, and the Golden Guard is saying how similar it is to Savage Age magic. And he's about to say something, but he stops himself and is like, no, that information is classified for a reason. So that's I guess setting up for a later reveal. He's talking about how his family's been pretty weak with magic, but one day Bells found him and took him in and gave him the staff, which does artificial magic. The Titan supposedly has big plans for him, which could Golden Guard be like a sacrifice? Because that was my first thought. Kikimora leaves on the dragon, and Luz activates the glyphs, which sends out this smoke, which causes the dragon to get disoriented and fall down to the ground, and Kikimora's vision is compromised. She can see a little bit, but not clearly. Luz frees the Palismen, and Golden Guard is just there with his staff ready to attack her, and Luz is like, I thought you had potential, but you're just a bad person. We're not friends. And Golden Guard admits that his name is Hunter, which, hunting Palismen, Hunter. Kikimora attacks, and because she can't see, she doesn't know she's fighting Hunter, but he manages to distract her long enough for Luz to take the whistle that controls the dragon, and they fly away with the Palismen. I would once again like to say, GG. GG. The next morning, Principal Bump and the Bat Queen are there, and are like, well, the Palismen are back, but we don't know where this dragon came from. The Cardinal 1 Bat Queen senses that, he found someone to pair with, and he flies away. Luz, she comes back, she's exhausted. Eda and King come through the window, and King's like, why didn't we just use the door? Which, always count on King for some funny moments. Eda's like, yeah, we robbed this place which had the Palismen making wood, so you can make your own. Luz decides to wait on it for the moment because she's unsure about her future. I'm thinking that she'll carve the wood and get her Palismen by the end of Season 2A, because it would be wrong if she didn't have one, because, a Palismen is what brought her to the Boiling Isles in the first place. So it should be fitting that she has one of her own. Yeah, I'm thinking she'll use her Palismen to fight Creepy Luz. Hunter is back at the castle, and Bellis is mad at him for not bringing anything, because apparently these outbursts are getting worse. Hunter mentions that whatever happened to Bellis was caused by wild magic, which feels like he's giving some credence to the magic affects humans theory. Hunter, he walks out of the room, he runs into Kikimora, and she's like, oh snap, you're alive? I heard what happened to you. It's good that you're okay. The whole thing she does in this episode is because she's jealous of him, I assume. Because here's this magicless witch that Bellis took in and gave him all these positions of power, and, people who actually do magic are beneath him. That's not right. I'm assuming that's Kikimora's motivation for what she did in this episode. He heads back to his room, and he has plushes of Sprig from Amphibia and whatever character Zena Robinson voices on Big City Greens, which I don't know the character's name, I don't watch that show. I'll figure it out while editing, so that's the name. The bird arrives, and you see that, oh, it wasn't Luz that the bird paired with, it was Hunter, and he now has his own staff, which I'm thinking he's going to turn to the side of good because he's befriending Luz. My theory from April that the shot in the intro shows Emperor's Cove and people who turn over to the side of good is so far 2 out of 3, though given what happens in this episode, I think it might just stay at 2 out of 3. Kiki's not showing a lot of potential. Now we just have to hope that Hunter doesn't get feelings for Luz, because I don't think anyone wants this sort of love triangle thing, and he and Amity could come to blows over it. For now, let's just keep shipping Hunter with Edric. So yeah, that was Hunting Palismen. We got a lot with the Golden Guard, and I'm starting to understand why he's Dana's favorite character. Next week is Ida's Requiem, which has Ida in a plot involving her special friend, who, like I said, is probably named Rain. Not sure what Luz is going to do in that episode. Maybe that clip of her playing Grudge B is from her subplot in this episode, because that clip has to either be from episode 7 or 8. And the description for episode 8 makes it seem like Luz will be involved in the main plot. So we'll say that Grudge B 1 is from next episode. Until then, thanks for watching.